This is the Checka Pro Radio Show. Checka Pro Joe has assembled a team of pre-qualified home service contractors to bring you the latest in services, products, and techniques. Stand by for an informative hour of home improvement radio. Now, here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Checka Pro Joe.
And hello, everybody. It's Checka Pro Joe. Welcome to my show, the Checka Pro Radio Show. I want you to listen carefully. If you want to save money and be more comfortable in your home this summer, you've got to stay tuned to the radio program today. I have an expert joining me very shortly here in the Checka Pro Radio studios. His name is Clay Caswell. Clay runs his family company, Caswell Heating and Air. They've been helping people in our community for generations. In a moment, Clay and I are going to help you save money on your utility bills this summer and be a whole lot more comfortable. Clay has brought a fantastic offer to you, my listeners, today here on the program. I want you to get ready, and I want you to get ready to call, because 10 of my listeners today are going to be able to take Clay up on his offer from Caswell Heating and Air. And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. He's taking $100 off your AC tune-up. Without further ado, here's my guest today, Clay Caswell. Clay, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it is so great to have you here on the program. Before we get into the great offers you've brought to our listeners today here on the radio program, I want to compliment you on your new look. Caswell Heating and Air has this new branded look, and I'm excited for you, and I'm sure the community has given you some pretty good feedback so far.
We have gotten tons of good feedback from all the clients, a lot about our van wraps, a lot about the guys out in the field, and tons of great things from nearly every day we come across something.
There's a handsome technician that's built into this logo. Is that supposed to represent you?
It is a very similar representation, yes, sir.
I absolutely love it. Let's go into a little bit of the history of you, Clay. How did you get into the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning business?
I actually grew up with my grandfather doing heating and air. It's kind of all we've known. We haven't really had extra jobs growing up. So even when I was young enough, getting out of school, running service calls with him, obviously I was the helper at that point. Growing up with my grandfather, he taught us everything that we know. As early as, after school, running service calls all the way up to, getting our own business, getting our own license, and taking off from there. We worked together for a lot of years. He was really a good idol in my life and got us to the point where we are today.
Your name is all over your company, so it is family owned and operated.
That's correct.
Yeah, and that's really important. I love, as a homeowner, to have a locally owned and operated company. When you put your last name on your heating and air company, that means you are committed to our community and you stand behind what you do.
That's correct. A brand is everything. If we're willing to put our name on it, we know it's right.
Okay, everybody, I want you to listen up. If you have hot and cold spots in your home, if your utility bills are high, if your air conditioning system in the summertime isn't keeping up, that means it's constantly running, you may have some issues with your HVAC system. Once again, HVAC is short for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So whether you have a heating furnace or you have an air conditioning system or a combined system, you really need to stay tuned today, because Clay and I are going to talk about ways to get your house to feel even. I mentioned hot and cold spots, and Clay and I will get into that in a moment. Also, high utility bills. If we can help you lower your utility bills today, that would be something that I think is really good for my listeners. The more your system runs, the shorter its life. So let's try to get the AC system tuned up, running smooth, not running rough, not running long. Let's make sure those air filters are changed out on a regular basis, and let's make sure that your master bedroom and your guest room feel the same in terms of climate. That's where that hot and cold spots come in. Clay, can we handle all that today?
We definitely can. I actually look forward to going through that with you and making sure that the customer gets a full understanding of what services we can do and how we can help them.
Before we get into hot and cold spots and being comfortable and lowering your utility bills, I want to talk about the offer that you have brought to the radio program today. An AC tune-up from Caswell. We'll get into some of the details of what that tune-up entails. It's ordinarily $149, everybody. But today, during the radio show only, it's $49. That's $100 off. On top of that, I asked Clay if he could richen up this deal. And he said, what do you mean? I said, what else can you do to make this offer really, really sweet for my listeners here on the radio show? And he said, well, we can do a free duct inspection. I'm like, that's great. And he said, that's a $199 value. But yes, at Caswell, we'll do it for free. So listen up, everybody. Not $149 for your AC tune-up, only $49. Not $199 for your duct inspection. That'll be absolutely free. But only 10 of my listeners are going to get this. And I'm going to give out the phone number right now. And if you can't call right now, don't worry, because you have until the end of the program to be one of the first 10 callers to get this offer. Here's the phone number, 334-835-3292. Again, the phone number a little slower, 334-835-3292. If you haven't had your AC system checked out recently, now's the time to get it from Caswell Heating and Air. Only $49 today. And also, Clay and his team will check out at no extra cost your duct system. Call now, 334-835-3292. I want to talk about the free duct inspection in just a moment, Clay. But before we do that, can you give us 3 to 5 of the top things you guys are going to look for when you do the AC tune-up?
For sure. One of the most common things we run into when it comes to the tune-ups and making sure that your system's running at peak performance, one of the most overlooked things that the homeowner can do themselves, prior to us getting there, would be making sure the air filter is clean. And we're going to pull that thing out, get you a clean, fresh start, kind of a good baseline to work off of. From there, we're going to go through the thermostat, make sure that we're going to be able to set that thermostat, program it correctly, and make sure that it's actually reading the desired set point and temperature properly. We're going to go through our full checklist based on the manufacturer specs. We're going to pull that out based on whichever system, brand, manufacturer that you have. And we're going to give you a full detailed report on how that system's operating based on refrigerant levels, based on airflow, based on cleanliness of the coils. We're going to make sure that everything matches a tolerance based on what the manufacturer calls for. And we're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Obviously, our main goal is to make sure that we get everything in the green. It's obviously our job to make sure that we, make you aware of anything that may be off. And we want to make sure that we cover you from top to bottom with your system, because we want to make sure that we do a stand-up job for you and make sure that you get the best system and the longest life that we can provide for it.
This is so awesome. Call now, everybody. There's only 10 of these offers left to get your AC tune-up from Caswell for just $49 today. Save $100. 334-835-3292. Again, the phone number, 334-835-3292. So as part of this AC tune-up, which, by the way, is very important, everybody, Clay and his team go through the system with a fine-tooth comb. You guys are going to also look at the duct work, and a lot of AC companies won't do that with their tune-up. They might even charge $100 more than Caswell Heating and Air. So you're going to save $100 there today, but also they're going to take the time to look at your duct work. Clay, why is it so important to make sure the duct work is in good working order and not leaking?
Sure, and there's a lot of different reasons. One of the top priorities for us is understanding that everybody's home is different. Some families have, little children. Some people have older adults. Our main goal is to make sure that we understand every home and what their needs are, and make sure that we can assess their system and ductwork to make sure that it matches what the standard is and what they need to have to help them in their health conditions as well. The last thing we want to do is have a family that may have younger kids, maybe infants in the home, and have leaking ductwork. Maybe they have growth. Maybe they have bacterial growth inside the system. we want to make sure that we know about that first and foremost. We also want to make sure that the customer understands that it's there. And then if it is, in fact, inside the ductwork, ways that we can actually prevent, repair, or rectify the ductwork to make sure that it's back where it needs to be.
If you've just tuned in, you're listening to the Checker Pro Radio Show. I am your host, Checker Pro Joe, and my expert guest today is Clay Caswell from Caswell Heating and Air. And we're talking about ways to save you money and be more comfortable in your home. I'm going to add one more thing to that, Clay, and that's also to keep your air conditioning system longer. You can have an HVAC system brand new that may only last 5 years because it wasn't maintained well and it was abused. You could have one that's 15 years old and still operate. One of the things I think that's very important for people who are listening to this, Clay, you don't necessarily have to get a new system just because you think it's old. But I will say this, there are so many advantages to getting a brand new system. So Clay and his team from Caswell will come out. They will inspect your system and do an AC tune-up service for just $49 today versus $149, $100 off, and they're giving a $199 duct inspection to you, so that's free. Call now, 334-835-3292, 334-835-3292. Now, for those of you who are listening saying, I really want a new air conditioning system, though I don't know who to call. Well, you can call Clay, and he and his team will come out, and they'll show you all of the new options today. So if you've got a system that's over 8 years old, which many of us do, the technology has changed so much. These systems are quieter. These new systems are way more efficient. And with starting with a new system and having service and a new warranty through Caswell, it could maybe last 15, 20 years. Isn't that true, Clay? Today, over the past 8 years, even the past couple of years, the technology has changed so much where people can be more comfortable and save more money every month.
That's correct. Just like anything nowadays, anything that's gone over 10 years has changed dramatically. And HVAC systems are right there with it. 10 years ago, you've had systems that were an arm and a leg to, obviously purchase up front, but also maintain. The efficiency was low, and the repairs and long-term reliability of the system wasn't what they are today. Systems nowadays are going to be as reliable as they possibly have been and possibly ever will be. The technology that's come into these systems nowadays is by far ahead of anything that we have in our current homes. We're able to get a long-term solution. We're able to give a peace of mind. And we're also able to give an affordable price that everyone can afford. Going with new systems today based on what you've got now is a no-brainer. Now, obviously, there's a time and a place, and with our AC tune-up, our main goal is to make sure that your system is able to run in peak condition for where it's at today. But if you're having an issue with high utility bills, constant repairs, inadequate airflow, hot and cold spots, all of these things we'll assess on the tune-up. And if we run into any of those issues with your particular system, we're there to educate. We'll let you know where your system stands, what we can do to improve it, or in your case, maybe looking at new systems.
Absolutely. Clay, we have to take a quick break. When we come back, everybody, Clay and I are going to talk about how you can reduce your utility bills today with the system you currently have with just a couple of tweaks. We'll be back right after this, right here on the Checker Pro Radio Show.
This is the Checker Pro Radio Show.
Dennis Prager here. Just go to checkapro.com. You'll find names, phone numbers, affiliations, and license numbers, everything you need to feel confident about hiring a contractor and getting your project done right. Checkapro.com.
Hey, Checker Pro Joe here in the break. Thank you for tuning into my radio program, the Checker Pro Radio Show. For those of you who have just tuned in, my guest today here on the program is Clay Caswell. Clay is my expert guest. He is in the heating and air conditioning business, and he has brought a valuable offer to you, my listeners, today here on the radio program. I'd like you to listen carefully. His regular $149 AC tune-up is only $49 today. a savings of $100. I asked him, hey, Clay, can you do a little bit better than that? And he said, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'm going to throw in my $199 duct inspection for free. So you're really getting $299, almost $300 off. You're only going to pay $49 for a licensed, insured, trained technician to come out to your home. You're only going to be paying $49 for a licensed, insured, and trained technician from Caswell to come out to your home to give you your AC tune-up and to get your duct inspection for free. But you must call now. We only have a limited amount of these offers today. Call now, 334-835-3292. We started the program with 10 of these offers. Once they're gone, they're gone. You must call now, 334-835-3292.
This is Sebastian Gorka. If you're looking for a quality home service provider, log on to checkapro.com. That's checkapro.com.
This is the Check a Pro Radio Show.
Okay, back here on the Check a Pro Radio Show. If you didn't get Clay's number from Caswell Heating and Air to get this great offer today of a complete AC system tune-up, just $49 versus the regular $149. Save $100. Call now, 334-835-3292. A little bit slower for you who are driving. And by the way, if you're driving, be very careful. 334-835-3292. Clay, before the break, I had mentioned that you and I are going to talk a little bit about how people can actually save on their utility bills with the current systems they have. And it all begins with the AC tune-up. You're going to go out there, you're going to see things, clean things up, tweak it up, and chances are they're going to save a little bit of money every month going forward this summer.
That's right. Little tweaks can go a long way, and that's the main point of our tune-up. We obviously want to get in there and show you everything that we can do to make your system run at peak performance, and a lot of times it's something small. A lot of times it may just be cleaning out those drain lines. It may be making sure those coils are clean for proper airflow. It may be adjusting a fan speed to get your system to work within manufacturer specs. A lot of little tweaks we can do on site that we can get that system working as perfect as we can.
From homeowner to homeowner, I want you guys to listen up out there who are listening to the program. You can save money every month also if you're willing to adjust your thermostat just a little bit. I'm not an expert on this. Clay may know more than I do, but for every degree that you're willing to put up with in the summertime, you're going to save money on your utility bills. Clay, do you know those numbers? So someone ordinarily likes it to be 72, but if they go to 74, it's a 2-degree difference. There's some money there, right? They're saving?
Oh, 100%. Obviously, it factors into every home's different. Every home's built different, every family's different. But the main idea is where you're comfortable at inside of your home with your family. Every degree that you can notch down in the summertime to maybe cut it off an extra 30 minutes to an hour a day is directly going into your pocket. So the last thing we want to do is pay out any additional cost and give it out to the utility company. We want to be able to put that in our pocket and use it towards other expenses. So every degree that the customer can notch the thermostat up during the summertime will actually put money back into their pockets. The last thing we want to do is give the utilities company any additional money that we can put in our pockets and put towards other investments. Every degree that they can maintain that temperature, let's say they leave their thermostat at 70 degrees every day. Mm-hmm. Just 1 degree up from 70 to 71 will put about an extra 30 minutes less of runtime on your system that day. And it will actually put less wear and tear on your system, extend the lifespan of the system.
Call now to get your AC tune-up. It's a complete system tune-up for only $49 today versus the regular $149 from Caswell. It's a $100 savings. You'll also get a free duct inspection, ordinarily $199. Call now, 334-835-3292. The phone number again is 334-835-3292. There are only 7 of these offers left. We started the program with 10, and there's only 7 of these $49 AC tune-ups. Call now, 334-835-3292. I'd like to skip over to the Comfort Club because it kind of goes hand in hand. The Comfort Club membership at Caswell, correct me if I'm wrong, it's only $20 a month.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
And there's a lot there. You guys come out a couple times a year. You give people priority service, 10% off on repairs. Can you talk more about the program?
Our bread and butter is our Comfort Club memberships. That's what our whole business runs off of. That allows, like you said, priority service. Priority service is the forefront of our company. Everything we do relates back to the customer and how we can take care of them. So our Comfort Club members actually get special promotions that new clients don't. They actually get the additional 2 visits per year. They get our coils cleaned. They get our drain lines cleaned. They get indoor air quality products at a discounted rate, as well as smart thermostats and upgrades. So they do get additional discounts. They do get priority service, and we do actually get to prioritize them in the event of the system failing throughout the summer. Kind of a front of the line service, you could say.
Yeah, it's a VIP club type service. Only $20 a month. You will get more than that back throughout the year as a homeowner. There's no question. The Comfort Club membership is awesome. To learn more about that and to get your $49 AC tune-up, call now. 334-835-3292. Again, the phone number, a little slower, 334-835-3292. A local heating and air company you can trust. Caswell is the name of the company, Caswell Heating and Air, and I'm on with Clay Caswell. He is the lead guy. I'd like to talk about what we alluded to earlier, hot and cold spots, Clay. And a lot of people may not know what we're talking about, but when we explain it to them, I think they're going to understand, because many people have this in their home. And that is, in the summertime, for instance, you have a really hot room. Maybe it's the guest room, but the master bedroom is okay. Maybe the dining room is okay, but for some reason the TV room is a little hotter than that. So it's maybe a balancing issue. There could be insulation involved, ductwork problems. Can you shed a little more light on hot and cold spots in people's homes?
Yes, sir. Jim, we actually run into that more often than you would think in our area. A lot of the homes actually would require air balancing that when the system was installed, they really don't have the parts available inside the ductwork to allow us to adjust the airflow. Being able to reduce the hot and cold spots is super simple. Very easy to do. Really what we like to do on all of our tune-ups and memberships and standard procedure service calls is to ask these questions up front. When we go in the home, one of our first questions we're going to ask is, do you have any of these hot and cold spots? Are there any rooms that are hotter than others? Show me where your coldest room in the house is. Maybe take me to your hottest room next. And let's figure out how each home individually can be fixed so that the balancing of the air distribution can be even and comfortable throughout the entire home. So we start with a walkthrough with the customer. They'll walk us through to their master. We'll go to the kitchen, maybe the den, maybe the dining room. We'll take temperatures of every room and really get a pulse for how that system's operating, so that when we do our tune-up or our standard service calls, while we're up in the attic, these are all things that we can pay attention to make sure that we can, at the end of the call, satisfy your needs, evenly distribute the air, and make sure that your home's satisfied from both ends of the home. The last thing we want is your wife hot at night, and your kids freezing over on the opposite side of the home. So we really want to make sure that we prioritize your home and get you nice and even airflow across the entire system.
This isn't that difficult for you guys at Caswell because you're trained for this. There's probably no home that you can't remedy, depending upon what needs to be done. Could be ductwork, the AC system. It could be the registers are closed for some reason. Someone, flipped the damper. It could be an insulation issue. There's all kinds of things, but it is science. there is a way to make sure your house is comfortable in all rooms. So don't worry about it, everybody. If you have a problem, Caswell can fix it. Call now to take advantage of this $49 AC tune-up. It's $100 off today, and they're going to take a look at your ductwork at the same time at no additional cost. So if you are one who have a hot and cold spot, Caswell Heating and Air can take a look at that. Call them now, 334-835-3292. Again, the phone number is 334-835-3292. Clay, let's talk a little bit about the system itself. Generally, there's hardware outside and hardware inside. People don't know this, but there's coils outside and coils inside. They need to be cleaned, but they get cleaned differently. So, for instance, the coils outside, you can clean with a hose. Inside, you may want to do it differently. This is where the expertise comes in, right? So you guys make sure all the coils are clean. You hook the gauges up to make sure that the freon, the pressure's right. And that's so important because some people will say it's just not cooling like it used to. It feels a little sticky in here. Sometimes that is a refrigerant problem.
That's absolutely true. And like you said before, with airflow and cleaning the coils, that's one of the first things that we look for. As far as making sure your system's running efficiently and making sure that it's shutting off and turning back on in a timely manner, airflow is going to be our top priority. Making sure that the indoor coils get cleaned with a professional HVAC approved cleaner. Getting on the back of that coil that's very difficult to access sometimes, and making sure that that gets taken care of from a professional standpoint is what's going to maximize your utility bills and make sure that we're putting as much money back in your pocket as possible. Our first and foremost thing is to make sure that we get you back to where the manufacturer recommends your system. We want to be able to keep that money in your pocket versus passing it along to any other utilities. And we want to make sure that, while we're there, once we can get a solid baseline and your coils are clean, that we can put those gauges on. We can figure out why your system may be causing high utility bills. We want to figure out why you're having constant repairs. Have you ever had just symptoms of a problem taken care of and never had the actual issue taken care of? We really want to look deep into the system and figure out why you're having the troubles you're having and get a solid baseline to work with to make sure that we can really take care of your issue from the heart of the problem.
Call now to get a hold of Caswell Heating and Air to get your $49 AC tune-up. You're going to save $100 today. 334-835-3292. Again, 334-835-3292. We're going to take a quick break. Clay, when we come back, I want to talk about why people's air conditioning systems may run constantly in the summertime and what can be done about it. That's coming up next right here on the Checker Pro Radio Show. Stand by.
This is the Checker Pro Radio Show.
This is Sebastian Gorka. If you're looking for a quality home service provider, log on to checkapro.com. That's checkapro.com.
Hey, Checker Pro Joe here in the break. Thank you for tuning into my radio program, the Checker Pro Radio Show. For those of you who have just tuned in, my guest today here on the program is Clay Caswell. Clay is my expert guest. He is in the heating and air conditioning business, and he has brought a valuable offer to you, my listeners, today here on the radio program. I'd like you to listen carefully. His regular $149 AC tune-up is only $49 today, a savings of $100. I asked him, hey, Clay, can you do a little bit better than that? And he said, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'm going to throw in my $199 duct inspection for free. So you're really getting $299, almost $300 off. You're only going to pay $49 for a licensed, insured, trained technician to come out to your home. You're only going to be paying $49 for a licensed, insured, and trained technician from Caswell to come out to your home to give you your AC tune-up and to get your duct inspection for free. But you must call now. We only have a limited amount of these offers today. Call now, 334-835-3292. We started the program with 10 of these offers. Once they're gone, they're gone. You must call now, 334-835-3292.
Dennis Prager here. Just go to checkapro.com. You'll find names, phone numbers, affiliations, and license numbers, everything you need to feel confident about hiring a contractor and getting your project done right. Checkapro.com.
This is the Check a Pro Radio Show.
Clay Caswell from Caswell Heating and Air. Welcome back to the show. It is so great to have you here. You are our expert in heating and air conditioning on the Check a Pro Radio Show today. Before the break, I had mentioned if people are listening and they have an AC system that seems to just run and run, it never stops, and it's not cooling as well as it used to. It just doesn't seem like it's keeping up. Some people may set their thermostat to 72, and it never gets below 75 or 74. It should. An air conditioning system should be able to go much lower than that. So that's when Caswell has to come out and take a look. You're going to be looking at a lot of things that you might look at when you do an AC tune-up.
That's absolutely right. We've got the full manufacturer's checklist to go by. Our main goal is to make sure that we can figure out any reasons why your system is running longer than it should, costing you more than it should, and not lasting as long as it should. One of the main reasons we run into systems that maybe run all day is common from a lack of airflow. Maybe the system hasn't had a tune-up in a while. Maybe it hasn't been properly cleaned. And maybe you're having refrigerant issues that are just kind of constant problems year after year. All of these issues will cause your system to run longer and increase your utilities. That's why it's so important to have the tune-up done so that we can make sure that your system's taken care of and get a solid baseline to get it back to manufacturer specs.
It's so important to make sure your heating and air conditioning system is running well. A lot of people will make sure that their cars and trucks are tuned up, that they get the oil changes and the regular maintenance. People will go to the dentist twice a year to make sure that they get their teeth cleaned and check for cavities. It's a lot like that. Twice a year, Caswell should come out, just like when you go to the dentist twice a year, so they can do a checkup. It's their AC tune-up. And so they can determine if you have any cavities or, in air conditioning and heating speak, any issues with that HVAC system. Get that done ahead of time, because if you wait too long with your dental, you'll have to get a root canal. If you wait too long for your heating and air conditioning system, you may have to replace it at an untimely time for you. Caswell wants to make sure that your system runs well today. But if you want a new system, and I've got a newer system, I'm telling you, the efficiency's great. I pay less per month for my electricity than my neighbor because I have a newer system, and it is a high SEER rating. And there are just different types of systems that will save you money, keep you more comfortable, and give you peace of mind at night. And that's one of the things at my age I want to do. I'm almost 60 years old. At night, I want to make sure that I don't have a problem and wake up at 3 o'clock with my wife saying, it's hot in here, what are we going to do? I want to make sure it's already taken care of with proper maintenance. I want to make sure I've got a newer unit. I want to make sure that we have peace of mind. That's what I want in my life right now. Peace of mind. Clay, I'd mentioned a SEER rating. Can you explain what a SEER rating it is and why it's important for people to consider that when getting a new air conditioning system?
SEER rating is super important. It's actually one of the top priorities that we discuss when talking about a new system. The easiest way for me to kind of convey it to the consumer is that it's kind of like miles per gallon on your car. You have cars that can get up to 25 miles per gallon. You have cars that can get up to 15 miles per gallon. And these directly correlate with new air conditioning systems so that you can better understand how efficient of a car, or in our case, air conditioning system, you would like to have on your home to give you that long-term reliability, the peace of mind, and the energy efficiency.
So the higher the number, the more efficient the system is, and in theory, the less you're going to pay per month for utility costs.
That is exactly right. That the higher SEER rating directly correlates to how much you put back into your pocket every month.
It's well worth it when you're investing in this, because if you're going to keep a system for 15 years, you should spend a little more money up front with the higher SEER, because you're going to save more money over time. I don't know if this is true, but as a consumer, I feel that if I'm spending a little more money on a higher SEER rated AC system, I'm also spending a little more money on a better system. Am I right about that?
That's exactly true. Generally, the higher efficient systems have a lot more quality control. You get a lot more reliability, and you get a lot more of a peace of mind. The difference in your standard efficiency systems versus your high efficiency systems is going to be the parts and components that are inside. The lower the SEER rating, the more standard parts that you're going to get, more universal. As you go to the higher SEER systems, you're going to get that more top tier product that's built and manufactured in a way to provide longevity, reliability, and a peace of mind. The higher SEER rating also is going to allow your system to control not only the temperature in your home, but also the humidity. And in our area, we have a lot of humidity. So anytime you can control both, and we go into the higher SEER systems, the comfortability in the home is going to be totally different than what you're experiencing with just your standards heating and air system.
Call Clay right now from Caswell Heating and Air to get your $49 AC tune-up. This is an awesome price, usually $149, only available here on the Check a Pro radio show this hour. The phone number, 334-835-3292. Again, 334-835-3292. My producer, Jerry, is telling me in my ear, we only have 3 of these left out of the 10. So you must call right now, 334-835-3292. If you don't want to take Clay up on this offer today of $49 versus his regular $149. Oh, and by the way, he's throwing in a duct inspection worth $199 for free. If you don't want to take Clay up on that deal today, put his phone number in your phone so when your system does break down, you can call Clay and his team. But I would get the Comfort Club membership first. Here's his number, 334-835-3292. Put it in your phone. Better yet, call now to get your AC tune-up. If you haven't had it tuned up within the past 6 months, you need to do it. If it's been years, you really need to do it. 334-835-3292. Clay, I had mentioned again the Comfort Club membership. Everyone should be on one of these. It's only $20 a month. When you're on it, you are going to get 2 visits per year. You're going to get priority service, scheduling, discount on repairs. The list goes on and on and on. It's well worth it. It is like an insurance policy, isn't it?
It very well is. It actually is there to, provide the consumer with a peace of mind and work with a reliable company that's going to be there when you need them.
My wife and I have relatively late model vehicles, but we have roadside protection. I'll be darned if my wife and I are going to get stranded on the road without some type of plan. The same thing for our air conditioning system. We want to make sure if something happens, we have a Comfort Club membership plan for $20 a month. You can't lose. You could lose, I guess, if you don't take advantage of it. This is for the people who really care about their homes, who really care about their family, who really want to make sure that when they go to sleep at night, they have peace of mind that that system is going to be running all night, running all week, all month, and all year without a problem. Call Clay and his team right now at Caswell Heating and Air. 334-835-3292. Again, 334-835-3292. Clay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this, right here on the Check a Pro radio show. Stand by.
This is the Checka Pro Radio Show.
Dennis Prager here. Just go to checkapro.com. You'll find names, phone numbers, affiliations, and license numbers, everything you need to feel confident about hiring a contractor and getting your project done right. Checkapro.com.
Hey, Checka Pro Joe here in the break. Thank you for tuning into my radio program, the Checka Pro Radio Show. For those of you who have just tuned in, my guest today here on the program is Clay Caswell. Clay is my expert guest. He is in the heating and air conditioning business, and he has brought a valuable offer to you, my listeners, today here on the radio program. I'd like you to listen carefully. His regular $149 AC tune-up is only $49 today, a savings of $100. I asked him, hey, Clay, can you do a little bit better than that? And he said, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'm going to throw in my $199 duct inspection for free. So you're really getting $299, almost $300 off. You're only going to pay $49 for a licensed, insured, trained technician to come out to your home. You're only going to be paying $49 for a licensed, insured, and trained technician from Caswell to come out to your home to give you your AC tune-up and to get your duct inspection for free. But you must call now. We only have a limited amount of these offers today. Call now, 334-835-3292. We started the program with 10 of these offers. Once they're gone, they're gone. You must call now, 334-835-3292.
This is Sebastian Gorka. If you're looking for a quality home service provider, log on to checkapro.com. That's checkapro.com.
This is the Checka Pro Radio Show.
And we are back. My expert guest here on the Checka Pro Radio Show today is Clay Caswell of Caswell Heating and Air. And I don't know if you've noticed around town, everybody, but they have a new look. Are you guys still rolling out that look, or are you totally done getting all the vans and trucks wrapped?
So we are actually live. The trucks are on the road, the billboards are up, and the technicians are wearing the uniforms. Now, obviously, as the company grows, we'll always add to the fleet. We'll always add more vehicles, more great technicians. It's a never-ending process of growth, but we are live. We have been around town day in and day out with tons of great feedback, tons of great reviews, and a lot of happy customers on the new branding.
It looks phenomenal. I approve. I think it's a great idea for your company to have done this. It really helps us as the homeowner identify a quality company. If you've just tuned in, you've missed some great stuff on saving money and being more comfortable in your home, but you haven't missed out on the special offers. We're almost through them all. We started off with 10, and there's only a couple more left. So for just $49, you can get a long list of items on an AC tune-up that you should have done at least twice per year. Clay says it's ordinarily $149, but today only $49, so it's $100 off. I said, Clay, can you offer something else to, kind of beef up the offering for my listeners today here on the radio? And he said, sure, while we're out there, we'll look at the duct work and we'll do a free duct inspection, which is really so important. It kind of goes hand in hand with an AC tune-up, but a lot of companies won't do the important checking of the duct work. And I said, well, can I tell my listeners how much that duct inspection is worth? How much would it cost? He says it's $199. So pretty much you're saving $100 on the AC tune-up, another $199 on the duct inspection. It's almost $300 off. You're just paying $49 today to have a qualified technician come out, insured, trained, licensed, coming out to your home for $49 to do a thorough AC tune-up. Did I miss anything here, Clay?
No, sir, you hit the nail on the head. The difference is the customer is actually going to receive photos of the job that we do. They're going to get the full checklist showing proof that we've done everything to a T. They're going to get the full background check technician coming out to their home. Make sure that they get a quality technician in their home that can satisfy their needs, and make sure that they get that system back to manufacturer specs. But you're right, you've got everything dialed into a T. You hit the nail on the head, and the customers, are really going to appreciate the offer. And I'm actually happy that we're able to offer that for you, Jim. I appreciate working with you, and we've worked with you for a long time.
It's so great to have you here on the program and to be part of Check-A-Pro. All of the contractors that we have here on our radio program have been checked out. We make sure that the home service professionals have insurance and licenses and make sure that their technicians know what they're doing. There are so many companies out there that are really kind of just shooting from the hip. Some of them are not insured. Some of them are not licensed. You can always tell because their pricing is dirt cheap and their vehicles look like dirt as well. Call Clay and his team right now to get your $49 AC tune-up. Ordinarily $149, save $100, only $49. Here is the phone number, 334-835-3292. Put it in your phone, but better yet, instead of saving it for later only, call today, get your $49 AC tune-up service, 334-835-3292. While you're on the phone, inquire about the Comfort Club membership. It's kind of a no-brainer. It's $20 a month. I mean, that should be like a prerequisite, I think, even before they come out. Clay, don't you think? Makes sense. Everyone who calls should really 100%. Consider doing that.
Oh, it's a no-brainer. Definitely the most value you can spend for your money. If you have a single call during the summertime, it more than covers its cost in $20 a month because you're getting discounts on repairs. You're getting your system tuned up. You're getting the coil cleanings. You're getting the drain cleanings. You're having a certified company come out that's licensed, insurance, and bonded. At the end of the day, there's no loss on a $20 a month cost if you're working with a top-tier company to make sure that your home's comfortable and you have a long-term solution for every problem that you may have in between the services.
Clay, a lot of my listeners are my age and maybe a little older. We go to the doctor a lot. We know the importance of having our doctor understand all of our numbers. Our heating and air conditioning system have numbers too. When you guys come out, it's not a blood pressure machine, but it kind of looks like when you guys connect gauges to the air conditioning system. When you do that, what are you guys measuring?
Yeah, Jim, just kind of like you touched on, putting gauges on a system does allow us to, theoretically see the blood pressure of your system and how it's operating. It really does give us the pulse of the system, how the home's going to function and the reliability of the system. Much like when you go to the doctor, like you said, you want to be able to check your vitals. You want to make sure that the basics are there before you ever move on to the main concerns. Our goal is to make sure that we do the vitals first, get a pulse on your system so that we can further investigate into your home and see what we can do to help.
Definitely. I can definitely identify with that. I know my numbers pretty well in terms of my health. I know my blood sugar level. I know my blood pressure level. I know my BMI, my weight, of course, cholesterol. Someone who really cares about themselves knows those numbers. They go to the doctor on a regular basis, at least once a year, to have that stuff checked. That's the type of person you want as a customer, Clay. They care about themselves. They care about their vehicles. They care about their home. If they care about all of that, they care about their heating and air conditioning system. Call Clay at Caswell Heating and Air to get your not $149 AC tune-up, but today only here on the Check-A-Pro radio show, the $49 discounted AC tune-up service. Clay's number, 334-835-3292. Again, 334-835-3292. Do not wait until you have an emergency to find your heating and air conditioning specialist. Do it now. We do it with doctors. We do it with lawyers. We do it with mechanics for our cars. We should all have that expert HVAC technician in our phone. Put Clay's number in your phone, 334-835-3292. I'll give out the number again. There's only one of these offers left. We started off with 10. Once they're gone, they're gone. Clay can't do this all day long, all week long, all month long. You will not find this offer on his website. So you have to call right now. 334-835-3292. 334-835-3292. Clay, you've got such passion, like we said before, for what you do. When you hire other technicians who go out to the home, do you hire only for their technical ability or also for their passion?
Oh, passion first and foremost. My main concern when looking for any new employees or new technicians is we've got to make sure that they really have the standards met of what a common consumer would expect. Our main goal is to make sure things that we can't teach are instilled in that person already. We want to make sure that they're trustworthy. We want to make sure that they hold their word. We want to make sure that they're looking out for the customer in their home. We want to make sure that anything that they can do to prevent an issue or be aware and have empathy for a customer is instilled in them already before we get onto the technical or communication abilities. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that they're the right fit. After that, we can make sure that they are the right fit for us. We want to make sure that they're a good fit for us so that we can stand behind them and they can be a representation of what we do every day. We want to make sure that the customer gets first and foremost the service that they deserve from Caswell Heating and Air, just like the rest of our clients.
Absolutely. You can always train for the technical skill. You can learn a skill, but you can't change people. So if they have a bad disposition, if they're just nasty, if they're negative, they could be the best technician, but they're not the best technician, are they? Because they're going to the home. Maybe if they were, in a closet somewhere and you brought the equipment that was broken to them and you said, hey, just stay in this closet and repair it. And then when you're done, let us know and we'll come in and get it out of there and keep doing it. That's okay. But we're all human and we want someone who's coming into our home that is technically qualified, but also someone who does have that empathy, someone who is going to be nice to my dog, someone who understands that it's hot in my house, it's humid in my house, and the system's not working right, or the system died. And we want you to understand that. We want you to come in. Getting back to the doctor analogy, good bedside manner, they call it. You could have a great doctor or a surgeon, and sometimes you're like, I wouldn't want to have lunch with this person. It's better when that doctor can explain things and can comfort you in time of need. And that's what a great AC technician can do. Caswell Heating and Air. Here is Clay's phone number. Call now to get your $49 AC tune-up. Save $100 today and get a free duct inspection on top of that. 334-835-3292. Again, 334-835-3292. Clay, thank you so much for joining me today here on the program. I really appreciate it. Any closing thoughts?
Mr. Jim, we just obviously want to thank you for having us. First and foremost, we appreciate working with you. We've always looked forward to it every time we get together. I'm thankful to be a part of being able to offer this offer, of up to 10 clients of ours to be able to join the tune-up process and, join the family. We're super excited to show them what we can do. We're super excited to show them how we operate. And we're definitely excited to, make sure that they're taken care of from the forefront of our trust and company.
Clay, thank you so much for joining me here today on the Checker Pro Radio Show. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Be safe.
This is the Checker Pro Radio Show.
This is Sebastian Gorka. If you're looking for a quality home service provider, log on to checkerpro.com. That's checkapro.com.